Well, in the process of that win, United equalled a club record 17 away league games without defeat. It was last done by the treble winners of 1999. But it's their 7th comeback win already this season, Sean. They like to make life hard for themselves, don't they?
And you do, like I said before, I don't mind them making it hard for themselves. Everybody knows why. But no, it's great. I think it shows what mentality Ollie has instilled in them. Like, to go 1-0 down and to come back all the time shows that they believe and they have the character and they believe in their own ability to push on and obviously win the game.
Yeah, we've got to give Lookman credit. I mean, he took his goal brilliantly well for Fulham. Yeah. But what's the reason behind their slow starts?
Well, obviously we don't know, but you don't know whether they're getting fired up in the warm-ups, whether they're mentally prepared right, then they sort of just go out there, see what sort of happens and then gradually build their way into the game. We don't know, but look, they've shown fantastic character to come back from doing it the difficult way. But I just think it's kind of a positive in their sense that I think they've got so much more potential because they are doing it the hard way. So just think when they start games correctly, and you know, because they've shored things up at the back at the moment, and obviously going forward they could be a threat to anybody. So I think mentally, if they just start from the first whistle on the front foot and take the game to the opponents, I think they'll be even more of a threat.
Yeah. Jono, don't you think possibly, because you know what it's like when you play sometimes, when you go 1-0 down, it's almost in your head, we have nothing to lose now. So your mentality changes, you play more free. Yeah. So maybe that could be what creates that situation for them.
It could be. But if you're at a club like United, 9 times out of 10 you're going to be favourite for the football match. So you want to go out there with your game plan, start well, and because teams go to Old Trafford and think, how are we going to win today? And if United are going to give them a goal in the first 10 minutes, of course they're going to be rubbing their hands together. Whereas when we was at Chelsea, we just come out the blocks and you could be winning 2-0 in the first 10 minutes, and then the team are dead. You want as a bigger team, you want to land the first punch and let the opponents know that they've got no chance of winning. But United give them hope.
Yeah. Well, 5 minutes on the clock, and this was the wake-up call, wasn't it? And you like this finish from Lookman as well?
For me, the run is perfect. Obviously, he's a winger that's come inside and he runs off of Pogba, who tries to play offside. But the composure in the finish to go across the face of the goal, and he will tell you if he's ever asked about it that you're always taught to shoot across the face of the goal, and he does that and he goes past his leg and executes it delightfully.
Great finish.
Glenn?
Yeah, it's a fantastic finish. It's awful from United's point of view, but yeah, in terms of Fulham, they've seen a gap. Lookman's burst into it and he's got it under control perfectly. And like you say, he's stayed composed. He knows he's got a fantastic chance in a struggling side to put his team in front, and he's finished it really well.
Pogba, of course, got in on the act. He scored the all-important goal. I mean, at the minute now, he's really found a rich vein of form, scoring big goals in big games. We saw him do it, of course, scoring the winner against Burnley. It's the second time he did it in four days. And he's got that hunger back, hasn't he? And it's quite interesting, since his agent was quite vocal about him being unhappy at Old Trafford. His form's really kicked on since. Yeah,
well, like you say, since those comments from the agent, he's been fantastic. And personally, I think in recent weeks he's played in that sort of wide right, hasn't he? And I personally prefer him there.
Do you?
I do, yeah, because sometimes he can be slow on the ball and have loads of touches, which he's fantastic at. But if I was his manager, I'd much rather him do it wide out on the left or the right than do it when he's the holding midfielder and players can press him. Because when he's out wide, you can let him be Paul Pogba. Go and be creative and have your flair on the game and put your stamp onto it. And when he comes inside and beats people, we can do things like that.
Sean, is that where you prefer to see Paul?
Yeah, I've like a lot of people have asked me, and I said I can't really put my finger on it, which is actually his best position in the midfield. But like Jono said, if you give somebody with that much quality the freedom to go and express himself, I think those would be the results.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's hear from the Frenchman himself. Here is Paul Pogba.
I hit it well. Didn't expect this left foot will be like this, but we try, and if you don't shoot, you know what's gonna happen. So I'm really glad that the ball went in. It was a beautiful goal and a beautiful victory. That's the most important. I love winning. It's all about winning. I will always be happy when I win, and I will always be happy when I'm on the pitch. And today we won, so I'm happy. The day we lose, I will be angry again. So this is me.
He's smiling again, is Paul Pogba. He helped United win 4 points alone in the last couple of games. But look at what they've done in terms of coming back from losing positions. 21 points. That's 11 more than the next best, which happens to be the current champions in Liverpool. And as positive as that is, I suppose the flip side of the coin is that sustainable? Can they carry on doing that all season?
No, is the answer. You can't, because, like you say, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, because they shouldn't be putting themselves in that situation. But the fact they are and they're doing well to come out of it is obviously credit to them. But look, you're going to do that against somebody, and then eventually you're going to find yourself 2-0 down. So no, you can't sustain that by trying to do it coming from behind all the time. Not that they're trying to do that, of course.
No, of course, yeah.
But but eventually you're going to get hit again, and you'll be 2-0 down.
Yeah.
But you often talk about the mark of champions, and that's one of the traits you want to see, isn't it?
I wouldn't say you want to see that, but like Jono said, the fact that they can do it is a positive thing. But if you're going to be a champion, you need to go out there and sometimes put the game to bed early. With the way the league is this year, the game's coming thick and fast. If you can go 2-3-0 up, you can then afford to rest some of the players that need to take a break, basically, for the oncoming game. So I think they're definitely making it a lot harder for themselves, and there will be a point where they just won't be able to come back.
No. And I think there's difference as well with the sort of belief, because when the year we first won the league at Chelsea, the belief and confidence that we had was phenomenal. So if we went 1-0 down, we knew we was going to win the game. As crazy as that sounds, we felt like we would never lose.
Wow.
But I don't think United have that same sort of belief that they're not going to lose. It's kind of like an accident, it just happens. Obviously, they're two different sides and different times, but I just think United are kind of doing it through error, whereas we had a different belief, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So you're not entirely convinced as to where they're heading right now.
No.
But of course, you look at the table now, it makes for pleasant reading for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and for United fans all around the world. There they are at the midway point of the season, 2 points ahead of Manchester City, but City, of course, have that game in hand. But look, we're at the halfway stage. They're top of the pile. How significant is that right now for you, Glenn?
Yeah, I think they deserve all the credit. I think 10 weeks ago, I don't think we'd be having this conversation. We'd be saying this. I'd never have seen them top of the league. They started slow, they got better, and they've kind of sort of found their feet and momentum at the right time. And look, you never get to the top of the Premier League without deserving it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I just think they've got that potential because they're still a bit on and off with their performances.
Yeah.
And if you can be on and off with your performances and be conceding early goals and still be a few points clear at the top of the league, they're obviously doing something right.
You both know Scott Parker. From your days, if not at West Ham, but certainly at Chelsea in England too. But they're still third from bottom, 4 points adrift of safety. Although he's lost his games, can they still take plenty of heart?
For me, totally. I watched them from the beginning of the season, and you can see the improvement they've got with the players they've brought in. I think they personally defend quite well. They play good football, and they create chances. I think even in the game against United, I think if Anthony doesn't, if the left back Anthony, I think it is, doesn't get sent off, I think the game's completely different because he had Pogba defending so deep that that's space where Pogba found I don't think would have really been there. So I think United, like John said, you can't do what they're doing forever. They come up against the bigger teams. If they go 1-0 down against Liverpool on Sunday, the chances for me coming back is unlikely.
Yeah. Have Fulham got it in them to get out of this trouble?
Yeah, 100%.
I think they have, because they obviously play good football. They've got a couple of match winners, and they go into some matches and you can see that they could get something. You wouldn't be surprised if they got something in certain games. Yeah. Whereas there's a couple of teams below them where they start games and you just think they've got no chance of winning. Whereas Fulham, I think, like I say, they've got a couple of match winners. They do play some good football, and like I say, against United, if they stayed with 11 men, I think they would have got something that day as well.
Okay. And